Okay, Alma in Okeechobee, Florida. This is Matthew here with freeprescriptionlenses.com, and I'm going to show you how I cut transition lenses for your RayBan 2132 new Wayfarer color 901L, which is the classic shiny black in the 55 eye size. So let's take everything out of the box and get to work. I got a lot of ground to cover in 20 minutes. So your black leather case you get, your RayBan cleaning cloth. Let me turn that the right side up since they put it in backwards. This is how your frame comes to me. In fact, if RayBan thinks it's a good idea to put a plastic sleeve on there for shipping, I'm going to pull one out of my secret stash over here, and I'm going to put a second one on it when I ship to you, and that way you'll be twice protected. You know, that's actually one of the straighter times I've actually seen a G15 sticker on these things. But okay, let me take out your original heavy glass lenses, set those aside, and I'm going to trace your Italian. This is now your Geek Chic frame. Now the sunglass lenses are out, and I'm going to trace your Italian frame in my Italian Santanelli LE1000 patternless edger. The stylus is now tracing the shape of the right lens here at freeprescriptionlenses.com, where everyone loves a bargain and no one is disappointed with quality. Now it's going to come up and trace the shape of the left lens. Imagine that. And once it's done with this cycle, I am going to pull up the shape of your frame on the computer. And if this were prescription glasses, I would put your pupillary distance in now, but since it's not, I'm just going to have it match the frame, PD. This is a polycarbonate lens being cut for a Xyle frame. Now, this whole process takes about 15 minutes. It's 8:27 on Monday, April 21st, 67 degrees in my hometown of Durham, North Carolina, at least according to my Samsung Gear watch. So let me get your polycarbonate lenses, take them out of their protective sleeves, get rid of that. Let's do the same thing for the other lens. That's in there too. Let's get rid of that. Now, I've got to put one of these blocks on here. This is what holds your lens in place while it's cutting. So I've got my 3M pads that fell back through the slot. Let me open this up for you. Feed it back through. Come on out. Come on out. You know you want to come out. There you go. I'm proud of you. I'm very, very proud of you. So I'm going to take this block off. The black side is the sticky side. I'm going to put that on there, peel away the paper to remove the double-sided sticky side, and I'm going to stick that on your lens. How's that? Stick that on your lens. No one's ever said that to you before. Let me do the same thing again for the other side. Now we're good to go. I'm going to put this in, and if I put the block on in the center, this is going to cut out. So the first thing that's going to happen, these calipers are going to come down and trace the shape of your frame onto the lens to make sure it's large enough to cut out, as I just spoke of. Now it's tracing the concave side of your lens first, which is closest to your eyelashes. Then it's going to scoot over and trace the convex side of the lens, which is away from the face. Using the calipers to measure the thickness of the lens, know exactly where to put the bevel. Now the actual cutting wheel is down here on the left. It's that lighter color wheel that's like a heavy grit sandpaper. This wheel in the center with the channel is what's going to put the bevel onto the lens so it stays inside the bevel of the frame. I will have to close the door in a moment, but for now I want you to see as your transition lenses touches down onto the cutting wheel. And there we go. So Alma, your lenses are made out of a polycarbonate material. Polycarb is 40% thinner and lighter than regular plastic. But here's the cool thing about your lens. They are virtually unbreakable. Your lenses are bulletproof up to 22 caliber and have both UVA and UVB protection, UV standing for ultraviolet. We know what the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays can do to your skin from overexposure, causing it to burn. Well, your eyes are 8 times more sensitive than your skin, so you now have permanent sunscreen for your eyes when you are outside. These are your lenses while it's still clear, and in just a moment when we're done, I'm going to activate them, which means I'm going to make them turn dark. So we're almost getting to your shape, and if you notice, your lens is still completely flat at the edges, just like a nickel. And in just a moment, it's going to lift up and move over and put the bevel onto the lens. And look at that. Now it's going to put the bevel on. Now you're going to have a knife-like edge. Okay, oyster shell-like edge. A dull, very dull knife-like edge. If you needed to, this lens could cut wet toilet paper. Or you could just pull it apart, whatever's easiest for you. These lenses are also aspheric, meaning it's much flatter than a regular lens, so it won't give you that fishbowl appearance of cheap lenses that people sell out there on the internet. Of course, with me, you purchase the frame and you get free clear lenses. All you did was pay the upgrade to the transition. You buy the frame, everyone gets a pair of clear prescription or non-prescription fashion lenses with the purchase of a frame. I signed a contract with RayBan that I would not undercut the pricing that they set, so that's why I give away free clear lenses or free prescription lenses. They love me. I'm not trying to sell the price lower than they tell me to. I give away, but they don't tell me what to sell the lenses for, so that's why I give them away for free. But as you see, I am the lab guy. I am a licensed optician here in North Carolina. Now, the one thing I want to do before I finish is, you still have a little bit of rough edges here, so I'm going to use my handstone, which is completely flat. And I'm putting on what's known as the safety bevel. I'm going to smooth out those edges. And if you can see that white powdery substance that I'm scraping off of your lens and dropping onto the counter, that is called Schwarf. It's like optical sawdust from the polycarb, and I do this so much I've worn a V-shaped bevel into my thumbnail. My friends call it my occupational thumbnail. And here's the thing I do in every video, which I love. Once I get it all off of your lens and onto the counter, I very carefully wipe it onto the floor. And this is where I remind all the kids, I went to school for years to learn how to make a mess on the floor. Stay in school, learn how to make a mess like me. So, I'll be shocked if this fits, but in order to see if it does, I tuck it in at the outside corner and I push down at the nose. Look, this thing is still squirming like it's alive. Nope, it's not going in. It's too large still. So that's what I do. I can always cut more off of a lens. I can never add it back on. So I'm going to take 1/10 of a millimeter off of your lens. For starters, I may have to take more. The 52 that I wear, this is the blue crystal, and a 60-53 whenever I have a blue shirt with print. I wear this one for years and years and years in all my videos. You saw me wearing the blue rubber, because I do wear a lot of blue. But about 3 weeks ago, they came out with the blue crystal, and I love it. So what I do is I pop my lens out of one color every day and into another. Again, you're getting bulletproof, unbreakable lenses. You're not going to hurt your lenses by doing that. These are my prescription. Let me put these back in so I can see what I'm doing, yo. So that's that. Of course, I'm going to slow that down for you when I pop your lenses in. Of course, every RayBan case comes with a cleaning cloth. And I'm also going to give you one of my cleaning cloths and instructions. Listen to this. I actually provide instructions on how to care for your leather RayBan case and cleaning cloth so it will last you for years. No other seller on the internet is going to do that. No other seller is going to give you free prescription lenses. And order now. I just love saying that. Order now, and I'll include a photo request where you can have your picture on the website. One day I was at my barbershop and I looked at all the haircuts he had on the wall, the people he had taken pictures of. So I got the idea from that for years when people came to pick up their glasses, I would take their picture and have several digital picture frames in my office, each with hundreds, if not thousands of pictures on them. Thousands of smiling faces. And I just want to make you the offer to have your picture on the website too. So that's that. I've taken it down 1/10 of a millimeter. Back to the safety bevel. Back to the thumbnail to scrape that off. Back to wiping that on the floor. Kids, stay in school. How many times I got to tell you? All right, now let's see if it works. I'm going to tuck it in at the outside corner, and using my thumbs, I push down at the nose. It wants to wrap around. It goes in there, but wants to poke out elsewhere. Again, tuck it in the corner and try and push it down. Doesn't want to go, so I'm going to take it down 1/10 of a millimeter again. And of course, just like before, it's not going actually onto the cutting wheel. It's actually just going to the bevel wheel. And 1/10 of a millimeter, this is my pupillary stick. For those of you around the rest of the world, you know what a millimeter is, but most Americans don't. A millimeter is the distance between the center of my thumbnails. And I'm going to take 1/10 of that off around the circumference of your lens. Now, I've done it once, so now this is a second cycle, so that is 2/10, 1/5 of a millimeter. There are 25.4 millimeters in an inch. they're 2.54 centimeters. So I'm taking 1/5 of 1 millimeter. Camera 1, camera 2, camera 1, camera 2. And if you notice, there is water running in the background. Of course, water just splashed in here. Oop, it dried up. But polycarbonate cuts dry. Plastic and high index lenses cut wet where there's water running like this the whole time on the lens. But water only kicks in at the very end to wash away the optical debris. And of course, I'm going to put more on there when I do the safety bevel, but hey, this is what the machine likes to do. This edger runs $30,000. I recommend everyone go out and get one. Put it on your kitchen counter, then you can cut glasses at home. You won't need me to do it for you. Okay, let's pull this out. Dry this off again. Safety bevel. Scrape that off. And this time for the kids, let's do something special. Let's get it all on the counter. Let's do behind the back. Woo! Onto the floor. Look at that technique. Kids, stay in school. How many times I got to tell you? All right, so tucking it in at the outside corner, and then with the thumbs, press down at the nose. It snaps right in. Let's go ahead and start cutting the left. Flip that over and hit start. Let's see. It is now 8:36. I can't remember what time it was when we got started. Hopefully I can make this in 20 minutes or less, because if not, YouTube's going to cut this into 2 videos. And I still want to show you how your lenses turn dark. The 55 does have a larger bevel than the 52 that I wear. That's why I always have to take it down a little bit more. The 52 cuts on size every single time. I just know from experience it always takes longer for the 55. It is the more popular eye size. But with the cost of these lenses that I'm giving away for free, I just don't want to have to eat a lot of them. So I always start a little bit larger and work my way down. Now you can see the water running in the background. Maybe you can't, but now I do. If I put, this is a very high-tech tool. I don't know what to call this. This is a new technology for me. But this spoon sits right here, and I've used it to stir my coffee every day for a year. So I'm not going to lose that spoon. It's my favorite spoon. So, okay, the right lens is done. We no longer need this block on here. So I'm going to pull that off. I'm going to pull that sticker off, and we are ready to go. You dry your lens up. Now again, if you have another frame, if you have another 55 eye size that you want to pop these lenses out of, and Alma, just for your knowledge, they've been making this frame since 1992. They're not going to quit making it anytime soon. 5 months, 5 years from now, you buy another color, your lenses will fit into it. You don't even have to buy them from me. How's that for honesty? You buy them from anyone, your lenses will fit in there. This frame size is so true. So to take the lenses out, I turn the frame where it's pointed downward with the temples facing up. I'm right-handed, so I grab the frame with my left hand. It's always with your thumb. It's always at the nose. To get the lenses out, you always use your thumb to push down. No matter what direction it is, use your thumbs to push down. So to get it out, I hold the frame, and I just push down with my thumb. Out comes the lens. To put it in, I turn the frame upright. And if you notice, I was working on the close side, so I'm not trying to reach over the frame to do it. I turn it around to the sides I'm working on. I tuck it in at the outside corner, which happens to be closest to me, using my thumbs. Press down at the nose. These are bulletproof, unbreakable lenses. You're not going to hurt your lenses by doing this. You're not going to hurt your frame. So that's that. Just about done with the left. Now, Alma, I've also happened to notice that this is your first purchase that you have made. You will never find another seller on eBay who goes through this length in customer service to show you everything. In fact, this is only the beginning. I'm also going to take still pictures of these to show you what you'll be receiving. I'm going to show you pictures of the box ahead of time, the shipping label, the tracking number, so you can track this as it flies down the East Coast. It should get to you quick since you live in Florida and I'm in North Carolina, so that's all downhill, so the truck can coast getting it to you. All right, so back to the handstone. back to, look at all that schwarf. Look at all that I'm scraping off, dropping that on the counter. Look at that. Those are some good pieces right there. You can catch some fish with that. But because my wife, that's right, I'm talking about you, honey. My wife hates it when I throw things on the floor like this. So in her honor, this one time, Alma, don't tell anybody. But this one time, I'm going to scrape it all up, put it in my hand, and I'm going to travel all the way to the trash can to throw that away. You see how far I had to go? Who has time to do that in the course of a work day? That's why I just throw it on the floor. Come on, honey. I'm not making a mess. I'm just working quickly. So, again, I'm tucking this in at the outside corner using my thumbs. Whoop, whoop, it's still alive. It's still alive. Using my thumbs, I press down, and your lens snaps in there perfectly. Let me pull this block off. Let me dry your lens up. And now I'm going to activate them, which means I'm going to put them under a quick burst of ultraviolet light that's going to cause them to turn dark. You see how your lenses are now clear. I'm going to put this in my little transitions box. It has a strong UV light that turns on, and as you see, it's going to take about 30 to 45 seconds for your transition lenses to turn dark. It takes a little bit longer when you come back inside to indoors. It takes about 45 seconds to a minute to a minute 15 to get clear. Now this is important. Listen, Alma, all transition lenses will turn dark on day 1. Give them 2 weeks of constant exposure to the sun. Well, daily, not constant, but they're going to darken every day for the first 2 weeks till they get to their final setting. After that, they're going to work for years with maximum performance. The only time they will not work is if you're behind, as I mentioned on the website, if you're behind a traditional windshield in a car. Your windshield absorbs all the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays so your upholstery doesn't rot and your dashboard doesn't crack. That's why they won't turn dark in a car. They're also temperature sensitive, that once it gets into the 90s, upper 90s and 100, they don't get as dark as it does when it's 80 and below. I like to remind everyone, you're miserable when it's that hot. Your lenses are miserable. No one likes to work that hard. So that is it. That's your lenses as they turn dark. As I continue to talk, they will lighten. But again, don't worry. They're going to get much, much, much darker in the next couple weeks. The last thing I want to do before shipping to you is make sure they're in standard alignment. That when I set them on the counter, there is no wobble. Unlike mine, because I have one ear that's higher than the other. When I take mine off, mine wobble when I put my finger on them. There is no wobble here. Flip them over, no wobble. Make sure that each hinge overlaps perfectly, and it does. The same amount of tension on both sides. Now, Alma, 99% of all optical shops will do free adjustments if you ask them. So if these are too loose or too tight, or if they sit uneven on your face, just stop by your local place and tell them. They'll know what to do. It only takes about 30 seconds for them to do a free adjustment on your glasses. Anyone who has any questions about what I can and can't do, just email me at freeprescriptionlenses@gmail.com or just click the Contact Me button on the website. Alma, I hope you enjoyed your first purchase here on eBay. I hope you enjoyed watching your glasses being made. Everyone else out there, I hope you have seen how I bring that love and feeling back to glasses. Thank you.